Welcome to Alive and Thriving. It's Jessica here. I am going to chat to you guys today about a topic that has been a pretty consistent theme actually for I'd say probably 90% of my clients in the last 2 weeks. Maybe because it's mid-year, maybe just because it's just the way the universe seems to deliver things to me in themes. Um, so I thought I have to talk about it, and that is the topic of slowing down to speed up. I'm going to talk about what this actually means. You may have heard this phrase before. You may even have thought it might be, really idealistic. I'm going to explain today why it's actually a phenomenal business strategy and how it is going to help you not only in terms of your daily well-being, but in terms of productivity. Now, if you are somebody who feels like you are ready to let go of what has not been serving you, if you have been stuck, if you have been blocked, if you have been living in a space of anxiety or stress for far too long, then I would love to chat to you about what my private container looks like and how my blend of alternative therapies might just be your next step to peel back your next layer of healing. So, if that's something that you think you are ready for, well, actually, I want to chat to you if you know you're ready. If you know that you are ready for your next step, then I offer a 20-minute consultation and it's free. And we just chat on the phone and we basically just see if I'm a good fit for you and where you're at. And it's completely obligation free because it's really important that when you're working with anybody in any kind of healing space, that you feel comfortable with that person and that they're a good fit for you. Otherwise, you're just not going to get the results because you're not going to subconsciously feel safe enough to actually let go of what you need to let go of. So that conversation is really important, and I would love to have that with you if you are ready for your next step in your growth and your healing and your transformation. And now let's get into the episode.
You're listening to Alive and Thriving with Jessica Reed, the podcast that's all about empowering you to achieve optimal wellness and success through self-care, holistic practices, and raw conversations. Jessica and her expert guests are here to share powerful insights and strategies to help you overcome stress and anxiety, take charge of your life, and thrive in life and in business. Grab a cuppa and let's dive in.
So I recorded a podcast on a similar topic to this a couple of months ago. Maybe it was back at the beginning of the year, and we seemed to just have this frequency of illness. It just felt like every couple of weeks that Amelia was sick and then I would get sick. And I talked about, how important it was to allow myself that time to heal so that I could then actually recover stronger and come back to my business faster, and letting go of that pressure, to continually perform. So I've spoken a little bit about slowing down to speed up before, but I want to talk to you probably more. I'm going to use specific examples around business, but if you are listening and you're like, I don't have a business, I want you to know that this is going to apply to anything that you do, anything at all that you do that requires your logical attention. So about 90% of the clients that I've worked with recently have had this theme where we've had to chat about what it means to actually slow down in order to speed up. Now, this is something that you may have seen, on little motivational images. It might be something that you think, yeah, this is something that I would love to do, or it sounds really idealistic. Yeah, okay, I'll slow down, and then the reality of your day is that you don't. And if that's where you've been, that's okay. Just accept that that's what's been happening for you. Hopefully after this episode, you can sort of understand a little bit more about why I'm really chatting about this with my clients in a healing space. So let's just pull it right back. Let's scale it right back to the very, very basics. When you are functioning daily from a place that is anywhere other than the here and now, when your mind is racing ahead, when you are jumping from task to task to task, when you get up in the morning and, you just kind of launch into your day without any pause, or even if you do have time for pause, but then you launch into your busy day, you are coming into sit down to work in a place of fight or flight. And if you are someone who has been experiencing anxiety for a long time, or stress has taken its toll on you, then you are going to feel what I'm saying today on every single level. You come into work and you go to sit down at your business, and maybe your head's been pretty clear about what you think you need to do. But the fact is that you're not regulated. And when you're not regulated, when your nervous system is not functioning from its optimal state, and you are in fight or flight mode, a sympathetic nervous system, or you're in the dorsal branch of your vagus nerve, which is more that sort of that's that place where depression lives, where that really, really low energy, that real severe brain fog. Maybe you're up in that energy. And if you are in that energy, then this is also, again, it's going to apply to you because you are not regulated. You are not coming into focus and to work and to be productive from a nervous system that is actually going to support what you want to be doing. And so you might come in and you're all, in your head. We're living in our head when we're in this space, all in your head, and, open up a task, and then suddenly there's another task, and then suddenly there's 20 tabs open on your computer screen and you don't know what you're doing. Or maybe you sit there and you're just staring at a blank screen because your creativity and your focus is just not there, and then suddenly you're scrolling Instagram. Or maybe things that would have normally taken you only an hour to complete are actually taking you, 2-3 hours because you are in a dysregulated state. But maybe you're also thinking something like, I have all this stuff to get done. My to-do list is massive, which, by the way, those thoughts in themselves are enough to put you into a fight or flight response, into a stress response. I have too much to do. I only have a few hours in my day. I've only got this nap time that my daughter's asleep to work, or I've only got the school hours, or I only work 3 days. I've got all this to do into 3 days. Whatever it is that you're telling yourself, this is going to also directly impact that stress response. Now, we have been conditioned to believe that the busier we are, the more productive we are, which is why the whole concept of slowing down to speed up is going to feel really counterproductive. So I'm going to talk to you about some really simple ways to do this today that are actually going to be really, really effective. Now, straight away, when I talk about these strategies shortly, your brain might go, no, thank you. I don't have time for that. I already have too much to do. I don't want to add something else to my to-do list, or it is just literally not productive for me to do what you are saying that I could be doing to help myself. And that's okay. I want you to notice those stories. I just want you to notice them. I just want you to observe them, because they are just stories. They are just stories because we've literally been conditioned to think, as I said before, that the more busier we are, the more productive we will be. Now, busy so often lives in that state of stress. And I want you to take a moment just to reflect on yourself, those times. And, maybe you thrive in being busy, or maybe it's maybe it's just an adrenaline rush that you're used to living in. I want you to reflect on those times, though, where you have tried to be productive and it has just actually resulted in you being less productive, and less creativity, and less clear thoughts, in a list that is so overwhelming that there is no possibility that you're even going to get through this. And if you are somebody who employs people, I would actually be considering adding what I'm about to talk about into the daily tasks for their productivity. So, I have spoken on so many episodes about regulating yourself, about putting a pause in your stress response, a circuit breaker in your stress response. And that's what we're going to do, and what I suggest you do as one of your very first tasks when you walk into work. Now, how long you spend on this is completely up to you, but this is really, really important if you are coming in dysregulated. If you are coming in feeling like you are stressed, like there is a sense of urgency, if you are coming in with anxiety, if you are coming in with worry, if you are coming in just not feeling yourself, if you are coming in really, really low energy and not really thinking clearly, knowing that you're just about to procrastinate for the next 5 hours, then this is imperative that you do this. Okay. If you've woken up in the morning and you've done your morning routine and you're already quite regulated and grounded and you're ready to go, then that's a different story. But if you are not, if you've just done the school run and, everything's been a little bit hectic and you're running in because you need to start working, this is where we slow down to speed up. This is where we need to take a moment to interrupt that stress response really, really intentionally. And so I would invite you to find a way that feels good for you to do this. So that might be something like tapping. I'm an advocate for tapping. You might like to, I know if you have access to the Thrive libraries or the Tapping in a Circle libraries, then you can literally hit play on some of my audios that will set you up for a focused and productive day and bring you back into the present moment and come out of stress. So that's really easy for you guys. Just go and hit play. And if you're like, what are these libraries? Then you can go and have a look at the Tapping in a Circle. It is inspiredlifecollective.com.au/inner circle. And you can literally go and get instant access to all of these EFT audio libraries, as well as replays and things of tapping circles and access to our monthly live circles if you want to come along too. That was a little off topic, but so you might like to consider tapping. Okay, tapping obviously is a fantastic way to lower your stress response, to send those calming signals up to your amygdala, to switch out of a sympathetic nervous system and into a parasympathetic nervous system, which is where your relaxation response lives. Now, why is this so important? Like so important before you start work? Because when you are in fight or flight mode, when you're in a stress response, your logical brain is not in the driver's seat. It's taken a back seat. It might even be off the bus, like completely off the bus. And there's a good reason for that, because survival mode serves a really important purpose to keep you alive. Okay, so, if you were to be chased by a predator, then we don't need your logical brain, your analytical mind to be doing maths equations and, to be planning content and strategically whatever you need to do. Strategy, logical thinking, it's just not that simple when your logical mind is not one that is fully on board. Now, how do we get it back on board? We disengage your stress response. So, tapping, as I mentioned, is a really great way. Now, you might prefer some mindfulness techniques. Perhaps you like to ground yourself outside. I'm actually recording this for the second week in a row. I'm recording this sitting on my front lawn in the sunshine. It is still cold. It's Canberra. And so we did have like a minus something frost this morning, but I'm sitting in the sunshine with my feet in the ground and I'm just grounding. Now, that is a really quick thing that you can do to come into your moment before you start working. So you might like to do some grounding, connection with the earth, barefoot connection if you can, depending on whether you've got like snow or something, barefoot connection with the earth, or at least with some concrete or the floor in your office, connecting in with some salt or something to really ground you. You might like to do some mindful activities to really bring yourself into the room. So, okay, I've stepped out of my crazy busy morning. I've got the kids at school. I've done that little mad rush. And, maybe I've been living in a state of stress for a really, really, really long time. So, by the way, this takes practice and it takes consistency. And the more you can build that muscle of coming out of your stress response and into your parasympathetic nervous system, the easier it is going to be and the more capacity you are going to have to cope with things. Because when we're toning our vagal nerve, which we're doing when we're strengthening, when we're switching into our parasympathetic nervous system, when we're toning that vagus nerve, we are basically we're helping ourselves to switch out of our stress response faster. Okay, so in other words, increasing your capacity to cope. Okay, so we have something stressful happen, and where that maybe used to previously take over and stress response was your default, then stay in place. It might actually become more easier, or it will become, the more you do it, more easier for you to actually complete that stress cycle and to move back into a place of normal functioning. So grounding, mindfulness. And so that might look like standing, in your office or sitting in your office and identifying different colors and shapes around you, different objects, identifying what your feet are touching, what your hands are touching, and really just getting yourself in the moment. So it also might look like doing a 5-10 minute meditation or breathing. Or if I mentioned before, you're in that nervous system state where you're in that really, really low energy, and maybe, it was pretty hard to get out of bed that morning and you've been sort of struggling in that headspace, then I would suggest just doing some gentle swaying. I would really suggest just sitting at your desk or in a chair or standing up and just rocking your body just to calm your nervous system, to teach yourself that you are not under threat right now. You are not under attack. And whatever you do, any task, any tool that you use, I really recommend just combining it with your breath. Your breath is so powerful. And if you can be doing activities with a nice long exhale, then that is a huge signal to your brain that you can't be in danger, because you wouldn't be breathing like that if you were. You would not be able to breathe a controlled long exhale if you were in danger. And so these are all signals to your physical body, to your nervous system, that you are safe. And then once we can do that, and you've come into your moment and you've lowered your stress response, put a circuit breaker in that stress response, you've slowed down, your logical mind comes back on board, and you will find that you will speed up your day, your tasks, everything will be more productive. You will think clearer. You will get more done because you have intentionally chosen to slow down. Slow down to speed up. Now, this does not have to be a big, long thing. This could be 5 minutes, 5 intentional minutes. And again, I know some of you your brain is automatically, it's just the ego, and it's just going to be saying, I don't have 5 minutes. You have no idea, Jess. I already have so much to do on my list. I get it. I do get it. I would challenge that story and start to build new evidence, interrupt that story and build new evidence that it is actually safe for you to slow down, to speed up. And then you start to see that you feel better, you're thinking clearer, you're achieving more, which is going to directly impact your outcomes. And there is some pretty solid evidence that slowing down to speed up is going to work for you. Also, any break out of your stress response is going to benefit your health and well-being as well. So really, really important. And you can scroll through my episodes or search the word stress, and you will find plenty of resources in this podcast series that talks to you about the health benefits of managing your stress and the health implications that stress can have on your body. So, really, really beneficial, as I said, not only for your productivity and for your outcomes, but also really long term for health, for physical health, for mental health, for illness prevention, is putting a circuit breaker in your stress response. So, will you be implementing this? Will you be challenging yourself to slow down, to speed up? Pop over on Instagram, jessica.reed.ilc, and let me know if you are going to be slowing down to speed up.
Wow, what a journey it's been today. We are so grateful for each and every one of you who tuned in to Alive and Thriving. If you enjoyed this episode and want to help us keep growing, please consider subscribing and leaving a review on your favourite platform. It's a simple but powerful way to support a small business like ours to continue to make an impact.